The Expediency Council. I realize I've written Expediency Council. Disregard the first N, it should say Expediency. 1988. The Expediency Council was created fully 9 years after the revolution. It was created by the former Supreme Leader, Khomeini, as a council, as a body to mediate disputes between the legislature and the Guardian Council. There are 34 members of the Expediency Council, seen here in session, who serve for a 5-year term. They are appointed by the Supreme Leader, the Veli-i-Faqih himself. The chairman, the current chairman of the Expediency Council, is none other than Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani, who was made chairman in 1997 by the Ayatollah Khamenei. This is a very powerful position to hold for Rafsanjani, chairman of the Expediency Council. But as we are going to see, it's not the only office that he currently holds at the moment. Finally, the Assembly of Experts, 1989. The Assembly of Experts had been in existence prior to 1989, but it was in 1989 that it first discharged one of its duties, and that is to select the successor to Khomeini. In 1989 was Khamenei. There are 86 members of the Assembly of Experts, not appointed members. They are elected by the Iranian people. Although interestingly, elections for the Assembly of Experts usually garner low turnout, somewhere in the 30, 40, and 50% range, as opposed to the 60, 70, 80% plus who participate in the parliamentary and presidential elections. These members, in order to stand for election, must demonstrate ijtihad, a deep understanding of the Quran, a deep understanding that by definition allows them to interpret the Quran. These are not ayatollahs, but they have reached a high level of Islamic learning, thereby displaying ijtihad. This Assembly of Experts not only selected the new Supreme Leader in 1989, but can also oversee and remove the Supreme Leader if the situation warrants. In the Constitution we find, in case the Supreme Leader is unable to carry out his legal functions, or loses one of his qualifications mentioned in Article 5 and Article 109, or if it transpires that he did not qualify some of the conditions from the very beginning, there's another typo, he shall be dismissed from his position. Such decision shall be made by the Assembly of Experts. The Assembly of Experts can remove the Supreme Leader. And who is in charge of the Assembly of Experts right now? Who is its chairman, you ask? Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani. Rafsanjani is in an incredibly powerful position right now. Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani supports Mir Hussein Mousavi. And the latest coming out of Iran, unsubstantiated, quite frankly, everything is unsubstantiated coming out of Iran right now, and we just need to deal with that fact. The latest report coming out of Iran today, as of Monday, is that Rafsanjani has in his possession a letter signed by 40 members of the Assembly of Experts calling for the election results to be annulled and for there to be a new election. Not simply a recount, but a new election. Along those general lines, and I will be preparing another lecture to discuss what's happened since the weekend after the election, one of the more startling developments also coming out of Iran, and this was broadcast on state television, is that the speaker, the spokesperson for the Guardian Council, was questioned about a charge by one of the conservative candidates, Rezai, former head of the Revolutionary Guards. Rezai had charged that fully 170 of the 300 precincts reported more votes cast than there are eligible voters in that precinct. 170 out of 300. This was the accusation by the conservative candidate Rezai. In response to this allegation, the spokesman for the Guardian Council said, no. There are only 50 districts in which the number of votes cast exceeded the number of eligible voters. In what probably was an unfortunate bit of honesty on his part, revealing that, no, not 170 precincts, only 50 out of 300 reported more votes cast than was legally possible. Again, I will be making a full lecture about this, about events that have happened in Iran since the first lecture I posted. Alright, to review, what have we learned? We've learned Parliament is beholden to the Guardian Council. The Guardian Council can annul any legislation it feels violates the basic tenets of the Islamic Republic's value system. The Expediency Council was developed at the end of the 1980s by Khomeini to mediate disputes between the Majlis and the Guardian Council. The head of that Expediency Council is none other than Rafsanjani. The Assembly of Experts, 86 members, first discharged its duty in 1989 by selecting Khamenei as Supreme Leader. Has a second function, and that is to remove a Supreme Leader that it believes has erred or is no longer qualified for the position. Allegedly, there is a letter that Rafsanjani has signed by nearly half of the members of the Assembly of Experts arguing for new elections, and that the result that made Ahmadinejad president again be annulled. We will be keeping very, very close tabs on this situation as things develop. The intent of this lecture was to give you a little bit more insight into the inner workings of this government, things that I did not cover in the initial set of lectures because I did not see a revolution happening after June 12th. I was caught a little off guard. I'm trying to recover, and I will have a new lecture up as soon as possible detailing what has happened in the last week and a half and what might happen moving forward. Thank you. Until next time, Iran in chaos, Iran in crisis.